In this video, we're going to talk about why you haven't manifested what you want. If you don't know me, my name's Deborah. I'm a transformational healer and coach. And I want to talk about being frustrated about manifesting what you want. And manifesting is about calling in something that you already have. And I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, but whatever it is that you want is you already have it because you already are the universe, which is perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect love. So you visualized, you scripted, you made vision boards, you prayed, everything, and nothing has worked. So what if you are not failing to manifest, but you're actually blocking, subconsciously blocking what you really want? I understand this because I have a very naturally very pessimistic subconscious mind. So I have to work a little harder to release that from programming growing up. So, number one, there's 5 reasons that I have come up with why maybe this isn't working, this manifestation isn't working. Number one, you don't believe it's possible. That's the biggest obstacle right there. You don't believe it. Because you can sit there and do affirmations, vision boards, you can do so many different things, but your subconscious mind needs to be convinced. Now, what is ironic is that the subconscious mind, you're trying to convince the subconscious mind of something that you already have. And I remember when my teacher said this the first time about wanting something, but you already have it. And I thought, how is it possible that I already have the money? I already have the wealth. I already have the love, the partnership. It's because who we really are is all of that. We are a part of the universe. There's no separation. Everything around us is ours. We are one with everyone, one with everything. But we naturally practice separation because that's the whole get up situation that the universe has created. We, as the universe, have created this play, this movie, this Leela, created this separation, but really we're actually going back to oneness. And all the most of the religions and most spiritual paths take you to that oneness. That's the goal of releasing. And that's what I do with my privates and my groups is teaching how to release. And I also do the energy healing work, which is release work. So why don't you actually believe that it's possible? And in the movie The Secret and the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, she always has 3 things: ask, believe, receive. I have found believing is the hardest part. Asking, easy. Believing, not so easy. Receiving, that's also difficult too for a lot of people. Believing, I have manifested things where when they happened, I didn't even believe my own manifestation. I needed to release even more. And that's what I tell people is that you are so powerful that when you do manifest what you want, you're going to have to release even when that happens because you're going to be in awe that you actually manifested it. And manifestation, the word manifestation is a word that I use, but it sounds like effort, and it's not, because when we are truly calling in what we want, it's effortless. That could be another video. So, number 2 is you're energetically wanting it. Wanting reinforces the feeling that you don't have it. So, when you're wanting it so bad, it actually keeps it at a distance. And especially, I've seen this a lot in relationships because it seems a little bit easier when you are dealing with anything else. Not easy, but when it comes to relationships, we get very fixated on it has to be that person. And so letting go of the wanting. Again, my teacher, Laura Lucille, she always says, let go of the wanting. And that's not so easy. But have you ever had a situation where you've wanted something so bad and then you finally let it go and it drops right into your lap? That's the way the law of the universe works. So number 3, you're attached to the specific outcome. That's what I was saying. You're attached to the specific outcome of it being a certain person. When I am coaching people on relationships, I say, set the intention of I allow myself to have the perfect partner. You may want it to be a specific person, but if you're open to it being anyone, then you're open to all possibilities. Now, you can release on a specific person, and most of the time it will work where you will call in this person. Either you are in separation from them, or maybe you just met them and you feel like, oh my gosh, this is the one, and it's happening very slowly. You can release on it. You can set the intention and then release all of your doubts, because what are doubts? They're fears. So, number four, your nervous system doesn't feel safe receiving it. That has been something that I have had trouble with myself, because when I was growing up, I had a lot of control and manipulation where there was the carrot would dangle in front of me and I would say I would want that, and then it would be withdrawn, and there was a lot of push pull in the dynamics with my parents. So receiving love, it didn't feel safe. So that is something that when I'm working on myself or with others, with clients, either in a group or private, I help with nervous system regulation and by helping release the limiting beliefs that are in the subconscious, and also whatever stories we're holding on to that are creating this nervous system dysregulation. So we're going to the root cause and we're pulling out the story and we're releasing the story and we're putting back in safety. We're alchemizing the energy and putting back in safety and opening to receive. The other thing that a lot of people say to me, and this is part of releasing too, which is really powerful, is they'll say to me, well, I have really great friendships and really great relationships with my family, and we're really close, and there's a lot of emotional intimacy. But romantic relationships, that's a whole different story. That's really difficult. So I always say, notice that thought of, well, this is easy, but that's hard, is what you need to release, because you're creating a separation. You're making it easy in this area and hard in this area. And again, everything we think is exactly what we're holding in mind, and it's exactly what we're going to experience. No more, no less. That's a bitter pill to swallow. Number five, the last one, is you're trying to manifest rather than becoming. So it feels awkward sometimes to put the cart before the horse of becoming what you want to bring into your life. If you want a partnership, you are becoming that partner. You can have fun and play, and you can act as if you already have it. You can set a table with a plate for your future partner and act as if it's happening now. You can act as if you already have the money that you are calling in, and you don't want to go crazy. You don't want to just spend money going, I know the money's coming. No, you want to stay in the practical mode, but there are activations out there. I will be doing an activation soon on love and money. I do have one in particular that is in the free downloads on my website, by the way. You can download that. And the activations out there are very powerful to really help your subconscious mind believe what's possible. And that's the thing, is you are basically convincing the mind of what you already know is there. Is It's like you've been a beggar for love, a beggar for money, a beggar for safety or security. And that's who we really are. And so once you experience, that's who you really are. It's not an intellectual knowing. It's a experiential phenomena where you just absolutely know that you are the love, you are the wealth, you are the perfect health. And you can really go far with this when you actually experience, and the way to really experience is to release all the limiting beliefs. And sometimes that takes time. Sometimes the limiting beliefs are easy to release, and some of them are harder because they've been looping for so many years and we believe them. And a lot of times when people ask me about release work, they're so close to their feelings that it's very hard to step back and to start to question those thoughts and feelings and to say, wait, I've been believing this for so long about myself. And that's all part of just believing in the stories about your life. It's really simple. It's not easy because there's a lot of emotion behind. So when you're releasing, you're not releasing just the thoughts. You're releasing the emotional charge. That's what you're releasing. That's the meat and potatoes of releasing, that you are releasing the emotional charge, the attachment, the wanting. the not believing, all of that stuff is what you are releasing. So you're going to the root, you're going to the weed, and you're pulling out the weed so it doesn't grow back. And it's very powerful to do this work. A lot of people have resistance to it because there's so much emotion there. But when you work with someone such as myself, where you are working with someone is helping you, coach you into the releasing and doing the energy healing, it helps you to see, and it helps you to shift your frequency and really start to not only release what's not working, but to create new pathways of thinking where you're thinking of what you want, not what you don't want. And you're having fresh new thoughts instead of looping thoughts. And so then your life really starts to change and things start to appear. Different people appear, different circumstances appear, opportunities come, you receive money out of nowhere, you receive ideas of how to make money. Your whole channel opens up, and that's just on a practical level, but also your soul becomes open and you become fulfilled, and you're not coming from a sense of lack or wanting. You are coming from a sense of fullness and wholeness and completeness. And then everything else falls into place. It's just like in the Bible, seek ye first the kingdom of God and everything shall be added unto you. It's the same truth, just being said in a different way, is seeking you first. Someone asked a question about how do I fall in love with myself? That's how you do it. You are embracing the body mind, the ego that you need for this world, but you are falling in love with what is running the show, which is the energy that is running your body mind, that's running your life. And you're tuning in, you're merging with, and you're releasing all the limiting beliefs of this little body mind that's always wanting control, approval, and security. Always. We're always seeking control, approval, security. It's like we're a beggar on the street and we're sitting on this chest of $1,000,000 and we're begging for love and we're begging for money, but it's right there. It's the same principle. So, how do you fall in love with who you are, too? And it's just going into who you are. And that's so easy to fall in love with because then you've experienced that fulfillment, you've experienced that wholeness and completeness, and then you're in that love all the time. You don't feel any separation, you don't feel the sense of lack anymore. That is, I could go on, but I'm going to stick with the topic of why you haven't manifested. So those are the 5 reasons. So if this resonates with you, you are welcome to book a session with me. I'm also having Healing Night coming up June 7th, and everything will be in the description. And in the Healing Night, you set an intention. It's very powerful in a group on Zoom. Set an intention of whatever you want to manifest, and the group energy helps that come to fruition. And as we do the session, you will be able to release the limiting beliefs in the group. It's very powerful. I also have a free Facebook group, a private Facebook group called Release to Manifest Your Dream Life. You can join that as well. Be a part of this community because that is what have developed, and you can have a lot of support from me. If you my community, I'd love to have you. Have a good day.